We're on.
All right. Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I had a lot of fun last week with our Surger event here in the store. So hopefully you guys that attended did as well. But
We
we're
had a
still
busy
continuing.
week last
We
week.
did have a busy week. We did.
Really busy.
But it is still Surger month. There are still plenty of deals to be had.
Events to come to.
Uh,
Well, not events,
really.
but a class or two.
But yeah, if you're, kind of hemming and hawing, come in, see what they're all about, see what each type of machine can offer you. We'd be happy to have you here. Okay. Speaking of events and classes and things that are coming up, we do have Viking Club this Wednesday. Okay. Friday, which our sample has since disappeared since this weekend. Maybe Kate took it home. But Kate's Bianni class for the payday wallet/purse is going to be this Friday. So look out for that. Make sure if you're attending that class, which it is virtual, but make sure that you've looked at the supply list, make sure you have all of the things that you need. Okay. We also have our Surger project of the month. So this is the Flying Geese Table Runner.
So pretty.
I love this so much.
So patriotic.
Yes, it is. So hopefully, and this is something, sure, you could totally make it to where you do this on a sewing machine too. But
the idea
all
is
those
to go
fun
out
stitches,
of the box,
the comfort zone, exactly,
and do it on the Surger.
Yes. And then we've got the Riley Blake banners. We'll be doing that. I'll be doing my in-store class and then it on Facebook as well. That'll be on the 17th. And then we have Baby Lock Club on the 30th. So that's kind of...
And Easter in between there.
Yep. We sure do. So that's kind of what we've got in the world of virtual classes and things like that. Obviously, each store has their own filled calendar. So wherever you may be, make sure you check those out. And, we have FTCU, the Floriani, on the 26th as well. So don't want to leave Miss Nancy out. She does a great job. Make sure you just look at your local calendar to figure out what classes are coming up. And make sure you get signed up.
Alrighty.
Before they're full. Okay. We do have a giveaway. And I think this was a donation, but it is so cute. I almost wanted to keep it for myself.
If I'd seen it, I might have just...
look at that.
I love it.
So cute. Then you flip it over and you've got
Bernina.
The lovely Bernina machines. So the fabric is adorable. And you've got all of these... Whoops, that's upside down. But you've got all these lovely little pockets with the vinyl.
That is all of so cute.
So Miss Jackie Robinson, you are going to be our lucky winner today.
Jackie.
Okay. And we shall turn it over. You can show all the fun stuff.
All right.
Okay.
Switching hands. So,
thanks, Pat.
What has it been? About 2 or 3 weeks ago when we first showed the vinyl mesh. And Kate at that time said, Val's going to do a bag.
You got volunteered?
I did. Yeah. Well, I kind of said, do you want one? So, this is not the exact color that we're doing today. This is one of my old ones. And these just go in the washer, hang them up, and let them dry.
Very nice. I love a bag that's easy to clean.
Yeah, because when we haul them with us, they get really kind of yucky. Kind of yucky. So
officially, I know 2 have gone out. 3 have arrived so far, Linda. And I would hope that yours has gone out, but I don't know about the last one for sure. Has Linda Cloverlay's very cool Riley Blake kit been shipped? Okay, we'll get an answer for you, Linda. But for sure, you should have 2 officially out I didn't know if maybe we were holding that last one in a box or something for you, waiting for more stuff.
Guess what I don't have here? The directions. Oh, these are right over here.
Those are kind of important.
Well, yes.
So, okay, so Linda, it was shipped on the 25th, so it should be on its way. This is a free pattern coming to you from Miss Val, and that is linked to our calendar page for today.
And we did not make kits today because there are so many colors,
many options.
So many options.
And we'll go. What? Oh. So many options, so many different things that you can get.
Right. So we're just going to start this. If you, okay, so on the instructions, it takes 1.25 yards of fabric.
Okay.
Then you need 1 roll of the mesh. Ours is pink today. And I used the Carbon stabilizer for my pockets. Now, you can use any fusible stabilizer that gives you the thickness that you want. That particular handle has no stabilizer in it, the blue one. I'm going to use a layer of Carbon today, just to show you guys a little different. So, the first thing we're going to do is we need to have 2 17 by 18 pieces cut from our vinyl. And I should have laid this out earlier, and I didn't. Now, there is a selvage on vinyl, just like on fabric. So we're going to cut this off. Be sure to check your roll. You may not want to cut the entire selvage off. I'm going to leave this here for a minute. Go down here, and voila, I have 34. So that's going to be perfect. This is a little over 18. It's not going to hurt anything.
Okay. Yep, Susan, they should be on the calendar. And Linda, it looks like that third kit was shipped, so it is on its way to you. Sandra, it was a donated project, so I'm not sure as to the pattern, but yes, I'm sure there's a pattern out there somewhere. And I don't know who donated it to go to them and ask.
So I'm cutting this 17 and 17, and this one needs to just be straightened out a little bit on this end.
Because Val is always cold.
This is because you turned the air conditioning on this morning.
Because the heater was still on from last week, and I was dying.
I am always cold. Are they asking why I have a jacket on?
Yes.
Because I'm always cold. Okay, we need a little more room.
Yeah. Val and I kind of struggle when we
but
work
we get
together.
Along, sort of.
Because we are definitely polar opposites. Okay, so what are we cutting to?
We cut 17 by whatever this was.
Whatever
it could be
was.
18. This is like 18 and a half, so we're just going to leave it at 18 and a half. That's perfectly okay. So basically it takes a full roll of the mesh to do your project.
Okay.
Now, I went ahead and I've done some prep work just because I didn't think you
Standing at the iron is boring.
Yeah. So what you do on your fabric is you cut your fabric, and your directions tell you this. On your fabric, you're going to cut 2 10-inch by width of fabric.
Okay.
Then you're going to cut those on the fold.
Okay. So now you have 10 by, or 10
by 20-ish.
21-ish. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then you are going to iron your stabilizer onto one side of 2 of them.
Okay.
And while I was at the ironing board, I also prepped the binding for the top of the bag.
Okay.
And the handles. So this is all done ahead of time.
It's all prep work?
All prep work.
Okay.
All right. So,
Steve, is Matt in the back?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's lovely. All right. Let us, and I'm trying to remember.
Can you check that I put the mesh on sale? And maybe that I brought it to the top of the page? Because I'm so good at that.
Okay. So, what we're going to do now is go over to the sewing machine. And I feel like some of this might have come off, but that's okay. We'll make it work.
Okay.
Choop, choop.
We need another chair over there, too.
Yeah. We'll make it.
Are you showing
Shelling?
the metal open toe foot?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's at the bottom. Let me fix that.
And then they're saying the vinyl bag mesh isn't showing on sale.
It is showing on sale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was just at the very bottom.
Okay, so we've brought up, I had it at the bottom of the page, so.
Okay, now it's getting warm in here.
Oh my gosh, you guys. We have video proof. Video proof. Val just said that it was hot and she took off her sweater.
Everybody picks on me. Have you noticed?
I'm just excited.
I did have it off this morning. Oh, please. I've got to find the iron. I buried it.
The mesh is something that we get from one of our distributors. So, I'm not sure where, if you were not shopping like at a place like us, where you would find it.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know. All right. So we're going to take one piece of pocket.
Okay.
Fused.
With the lining? Or
and
with
one piece without.
Okay.
Oh, this chair is a little low. Let's see if it'll raise up.
And then something's too short for you?
You having a good time picking on me today? Huh? Is this pick on Val Day?
You know, you got to learn how to get it just as much as you give it. And you like to give it a lot.
No. I can't believe you would say that. All right.
It's just because we love you.
I know, just because I love you guys.
Yes, Miss Ann, the mesh we do sell. It is on our website for today as well. And it is available for you to just pop it in your cart. Oh, your microphone, though, is on your sweater.
Oh.
Good call, Karen.
Oh.
All right, Miss Sherry, we can cut that for you.
Better?
Yep.
Okay. I can't believe that would make a difference. So we're going to create 2 tubes, basically, for our pockets.
And what kind of stitch seam allowance are you doing right now?
The width of the foot.
Okay. And what foot are we using?
We are now using the end because that's what was here because I couldn't find the open toe.
Oh.
But this is good. On this, it does, as long as you are consistent, you could use a 1/4 inch foot. I'm going to use that in just a little bit. You could use the open toe foot. You can use your J foot. This is really a simple project to make, my friends.
Yep, Karen, she just put it back on, so.
Is it better now?
Should be fine.
Okay.
All right, so a seam down each long side?
Yep. So we're doing one for the front side of your bag and one for the other side of the bag.
And these are pockets?
These are going to be the pockets. Outside pockets.
I haven't heard that, Susie.
We're supposed to be warm all week. Are you excited?
I'm so excited. You know what I'm going to do this week?
What are
I'm
you
going to spray stuff in my backyard that's going to kill everything, and I'm so excited.
You know, the other thing you can use to kill everything in your backyard? Vinegar and salt.
Yeah, but I have a very large area.
Backyard, yes. So are you guys going to kill everything and then start all over?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, yes, but it's all going to be like hardscaping. We're not putting in grass or anything.
There's no grass. Okay. Artificial or just
no
rock?
Like, yeah. We want to do like an above ground pool, so there's really no need for like anything on the ground there. And then we're going to pave pretty much the rest of it.
Nice.
Put in a fire pit.
You don't want an underground pool?
No.
How come?
Because it's way more money.
Oh, that's a good reason. That's a really good reason.
Oops. I clicked something. Okay, so while Val is finishing up her tube, or you're just
2 tubes.
Okay.
No, it's okay.
We'll wait.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to turn them, and then...
Okay. So while she's making her tubes, and then she's going to turn them right side out, I have our first manager special. Manager special.
Manager special.
All right. So we're going to call this today the Pickle Pie Day.
Really?
Yeah.
Do we have a pie with pickles in it?
No, and that sounds so gross. Then your green chili peanut brittle, yeah. Okay, first manager special is going to be these adorable little gnome coasters.
Oh.
Super, super cute.
Yes.
$5 for this guy. It is machine embroidery. All of these projects are going to be machine embroidery. So $5
going
for the gnome coasters that are super adorable for the first person who comments gnome. I only have one of those. So if you're thinking about it and you're on the edge,
don't think too long.
You need to do it. Okay, Molly, did you want the coasters? I saw your name come up first.
And what iron am I using? Our favorite little toy iron.
Alysso mini iron. Okay, so the gnome coasters went to Miss Molly Ward.
All right, Molly.
Hey. But don't worry, we have a couple other super cute pickle pie patterns. Again, all machine embroidery. Then we'll do our next one here in a minute after Val's next set of steps.
Okay. Did I tell you that Cora and I made dill pickle popsicles last summer?
Yeah, you did.
Yep.
You know that like drinking pickle juice is supposed to be really good for like leg cramps and stuff too?
Yeah. So there is still some pressing that we have to do here, guys. Sorry.
Okay, so while she's finishing up pressing her other tube, we're going to do the next manager special. So, again, pickle pie, machine embroidery. This one,
this is such a cute one.
Take our tag off of it so y'all can see what it is.
I have this hanging in my basement.
Is the happy birthday. Well, that's all that it says. But it's a little wall hanging.
Mm-hmm.
So you do one little block that says happy birthday. You can put a name in there. And then you attach all the little blocks with ribbon. They are super adorable. So this is the next manager special. This one is $15. The alphabet is included. You could also change it into something like a little table runner. You can make each little block a little pin cushion, a little coaster, a little, a single, wall hanging. So lots of different ways to do this. All right, Miss Vonnie, that's going to go to you. Our happy birthday pickle pie. How's the pressing going?
We're almost done.
Good for preventing heat stroke. Pickle juice.
Pickle juice?
I did not know that.
I did not know that either. I wish there was some place I could just buy pickle juice so I didn't have to eat all the pickles.
Why? Pickles are so yummy.
I know. All right, so now we are going to top stitch along one edge on both. And I am going to change to my 1/4 inch foot.
I don't know how it got zoomed in, but I was able to finally zoom it out, and now everything looks way better. That's why I was like way back here, because it was like
Because it was
way
like
too close.
really close to me. You could see my wrinkles really well.
Oh, goodness. All right, so we're just taking a 1/4 inch top seam.
Yep. Whoops.
Stay straight.
I know. I looked away. I was driving fast. Nobody's going to know this. This is a busy thimble fabric. We don't need to worry about the bottom because when we stitch this down, that'll take care of that. Come on, baby. Okay, now we need to go back over to the table, do some measuring, and do some clipping with our clips.
Okay.
Follow me, please.
We shall. I'm going to cover you guys up so we can walk fast. Apparently, you can just get pickle juice at Walmart.
Really?
That's what
Dill pickle juice?
we had a comment saying.
Wow, guess I'll have to try that. Because I've been saving pickle juice. All right, now there's some measuring that you need to do here on these guys. And I meant to have a Sharpie, but I'll just use an ink pen. This will be fine.
I want the QS marker.
I don't know if it'll show.
That's the eraser, the purple cap.
Let's see if it'll show. So we've done our handles and everything. Now we are going to, you have to measure, you fold your mesh in half, and you are going to find the center. So out of 17, that would be like 8.5, right?
Yep.
You're going to mark that here, and you're going to mark it up on the top part.
Susan, I'm right there with you.
Okay. Then, and you're going to do that on both sides. We'll do that on both sides. Then we are going to cut.
Both sides, as in like this side, or this side? This?
Both pieces.
Oh, on both pieces in that. Okay.
Sorry, that wasn't clearly.
Both sides of the bag.
Both sides of the bag. You got it. Now we're going to cut out of the bottom only a 2 1/4 inch.
And because this isn't square, it matters which way you have it laid out.
So 17 wide, 18 tall. So we want to find a 2 1/2 inch square. Now, if I had a 2 1/4 inch square, if I had a 2 1/4 inch ruler, which I didn't think about, that would be like really perfect, wouldn't it? And this is so easy to cut with your rotary cutter.
Yeah, it's as thick as it is, it's soft.
Yes.
I don't know how you can cut when it's got the 1/2 inch on there. It throws me off every time.
Well, I think I did it right. I'm hoping. Oh, I did. Now that you said it, scared me a little bit.
Going to do that to the front.
Almost. There's one more cut or one more measurement that we need, because this is for boxing the corners. All right.
Okay.
We are going to measure up. Okay, that's for the pockets. We're going to measure up from the center bottom 3 inches. And this is going to be our pocket placement on both sides.
Okay. So those of you who have joined us a little bit late, we are making a mesh tote from the vinyl coated mesh. Not like the fabric mesh from by Annie. This is a little bit thicker and again vinyl. And then it comes in a bunch of fun colors. I don't think I even have all of the colors here right now. There's like purple also, and white and yellow.
Yeah, there's
a lot of colors.
So many colors, but we do have them online.
We do, and anything that we're missing we'll obviously get for you guys. But lots of fun stuff to do with these, and these are 18 by 36 inch pieces.
Now, one thing I forgot to ask Cindy to put up, my bad, were our clips. Because this really isn't something...
You can't really pin it, right?
You can't pin it. And so what I do is I use this 3 inch on my cutting mat.
And are you extending the fabric at all, or are you
I am just, I'm going to trim it.
Okay.
I'm extending it.
So you're just making sure it's straight?
Yes. This side was definitely longer, so we will cut this off just a bit. Now, you could have trimmed your pockets down before you started, but, you know, it's not necessary.
Thanks, Susan, for adding that link.
So your next measurement, and we'll do this on both sides, but our next measurement then is we are going to mark 4.5 inches in from each side.
Okay.
And then we will stitch down here. We're going to stitch across and we're going to stitch down on each side.
Is this the corners of our bag?
This is the corners. These are going to be the side pockets.
Okay.
The outside pockets. Now you've got me thinking about that 4.5.
It kills me. I always screw something up.
And you ladies I used 4.5. But you can do whatever measurement you want for your pockets. Maybe you only want one large pocket. And that's a-okay too. Okay, so now this piece is ready to go. Let me grab the other one. And I always double check to make sure that my narrower is
on the bottom?
That I'm taking the corners out of that. So let's do this. 2 1/4 and 2 1/4. Looks pretty good.
I believe it's from 9 to 12, Evelyn.
And I give you permission to throw the little 2 1/4 inch pieces of vinyl away because there's really not any use for them.
Kathleen, you might not be able to click on that. You might have to like copy it and then paste it into your browser.
Okay. So again, rather than trying to mark, but I do need to find center. I can't remember why I need to find center, but I will, just because I can. It had been a long time since I've made one of these. For the handle placement, I do too. So now, instead of trying to mark that 3 inch, which I started to do up from the bottom, we're just going to use our cutting mat and do it that way. That seems much easier. Maybe the first time I had this, I didn't have a cutting mat, do you think? Possibly.
Okay, and then when you lay your pockets, it's going to be the top stitched side up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Towards the top? Okay.
Mm-hmm. It is, indeed.
All right, so we're just cutting off the bulk of the excess.
So now, I've got this here. Here's my 3 inch. These make great beach bags because they can just go in the laundry. They make great tote bags for coming to work because I usually haul one in every day. Just good old storage bags. So we've got this now. We're going to measure in that 4 1/2 inches again. I think someone might have used some of the grippy spray on the right side of this ruler.
No, you're...
I know, but if you feel the other side.
Oh, it's the 505.
Oh, 505 that I'm feeling. All right. Ah, I see.
Yep. That would be myself and Paula. From our basic sewing class this weekend.
All right, perfect. Shall we go back to the machine?
We shall.
All right. Follow me, please.
All right. Okay, covering up so we can travel to the machine.
All right, so the first thing we're going to do is change this foot back to an open toe or a J or something so that you can see what you're stitching.
Hello, Birdie. And Linda, that sounds like an awesome gift for everybody.
All right, so I would suggest that you reinforce this top. You can do the bottom also, but I would definitely do the top part. Come on, baby. Oh. Yes. And you're going to be stitching across this, but because you really don't want to take this bag apart, a little reinforcing on the bottom never hurts anything. So this has 1 large pocket and 2 smaller side pockets.
Okay.
If you wanted, you could just do right down the center and have 2 large. And maybe you want to do one side one way and one side the other.
And then does it matter how far into the bottom you stitch?
I'm going to do probably 1/4 inch. So we'll just flip this over. It'll be easier. Or I could have changed to the Q2.
Okay. So 1/4 inch on the top, 1/4 inch on the bottom. At least it's consistent. It's easy to remember.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. Have you ever tried embroidering on this mesh?
Yes, it's fine.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. You want to use, of course, a dissolve away on it. But yeah, you can. Now, would I do something really dense? Probably not.
Do you need to use a topping with it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you do something really dense, it's going to be like anything else, like a tearaway. It could tear out eventually. So, you know,
you still want that mesh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to do a piece of fabric, an oval or something, and embroidery on that, and then do it. All right, so we've got one piece finished. And because I have my 1/4 inch foot on, I'm going to go ahead and just do this. Now, if you find that you're having problems sewing on the vinyl, a couple things you can do. You can use a Teflon foot, of course, or you can use a piece of tissue paper underneath of it.
I've done that with just regular vinyl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Those project bags I made, I did that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about stitching this with the Sashiko?
I don't know. Wouldn't hurt to try it.
I like the stitches of the Sashiko.
I do too. It would be really pretty. Using some other colors. So I went back to this foot just because I can see my line better.
Okay.
That's why I meant to get the open toe.
All right. So while she's stitching up those pockets, I have another manager special.
Woohoo!
All right. This is going to be the last one, but this pattern that we actually have 2 of.
Yay.
So we'll get 2 winners of the privilege of purchasing these patterns. So this is again from Pickle Pie. And these are called chenille party pockets. And I remember making the samples of these
I did when you did
forever and a day ago.
Yep.
But they are super, super cute. So you get these little, you create this round piece that then has a pocket. And so like one of them has the little slices for like a lemon. One has, you know, if you did your fabrics and thread right, that looks like a watermelon. You know, I think I did one where it was like orange and green, so it looked like orange and lemons and limes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then these are going to be $10. So super cute. And again, you can put the little like paper plates in there as a cute little like summertime place setting. So $10 for.
Those are adorable. I remember when you did those.
Yeah.
With the chenille.
Yep. And then the pockets themselves have the chenille effect, and they are stitched that way so that you can just go ahead and slice right through those and fluff them up, and then they're so
good
cute.
to go. They are adorable. That would be so nice at a birthday party or something like that. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So we have our pockets on. Now we're going to put our top binding on. And this is what I had already prepared.
So can you show how you...
I can. So what I do, this is the fabric, 4.5 inches. And then the decor bond on here. And this is really important, is to put some sort of a stabilizer on this top binding.
Okay.
More so than even in the handles. But this, because it's going to rub against the vinyl.
Okay.
And that could wear out quicker.
All right.
So I've ironed these up about 1/2 inch.
All right, so we've got the first pocket packers to Miss Nancy. We do still have one left, $10.
Okay. Now make sure that you have the fold of this binding piece
Really butted up
against the edge. And again, I'm using my foot as my guide.
Could you flip it in place to hold it?
I could, yes. But I can't use the 1/4 inch foot on this with guide. I could use a plain 1/4 inch. So I'm just using the edge of this. It'll be just fine. Yeah, so I can do this. And I can feel this vinyl hanging up on here. And just keep that tucked up there. Now, if you're concerned that you might not have caught all these edges, you can always stitch this again a little closer to the edge. Your choice. I think I did that. I think we're okay. So let's get the other piece put on the other one. We are so close to being almost done, guys.
Awesome.
Don't you love this thimble fabric?
It is super cute. We might have a good chunk of it left if anybody wants.
Yeah.
I know Miss Sherry already asked for it.
Did she really? That doesn't surprise me.
Nope. So, yep, if anybody's interested in the fabric, you can go ahead.
Just let us know.
Write a comment in here.
It is adorable, though.
So fun.
These little thimbles. You could use this with the yellow. You could use it with black. You could use it with white. Oh, I talked to Caitlin over the weekend, and she said to tell everyone hello.
Awesome.
All right. I do need to go over to the cutting table and just trim this, and I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. Dad, can you bring a pen back with you?
A what?
A pen.
A pen? Yes, absolutely.
All right. We do still have the one pocket packers left. Only $10.
Almost done.
All right, so Val's just trimming up that top binding she just put on, trimming it up with the edges of her vinyl. I'm assuming you could do this with actual just regular vinyl, yeah?
Window screen vinyl, you mean?
No, like the Bianni vinyl.
Oh, sure. Well, yeah. You could do the same bag pattern with any fabric. It's just that this mesh makes it sort of cute and adorable.
With just the clear vinyl.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what we have here now are 2 pieces. I did bring my clips back so that when we put these together, I'll be able to clip them. And that way, they'll stay together, hopefully for me.
Pocket sides together?
Pocket sides together, right sides together. Now, the other thing you can do, and I've done this a couple times, is you can put it together with a serger.
Mm. Val, you know it's serger month, right?
It is. And so I thought we might pop over to a serger and finish it.
That would be cool.
But I forgot to check and see if we have, I think we've got something 3 thread or 4 thread. We'll see. So I've just come up here like this, right?
And just clip the sides?
Clip the sides. And then we'll do the same thing on the bottom.
And you're just paying extra attention that the binding matches and the pockets match?
Trying to, as much as possible. But I am an old woman, and I don't always get everything even. I know you find that hard to believe.
I really do.
Silly you.
Okay, I'm supposed to ask. Can you ask Val if she puts backing and binding on her tile scenes that she has framed?
No. When you say backing.
You know, like truly completing it.
No. You need to leave, whenever you're doing a tile scene that is framed, you need to leave about 2.5 to 3 inches of just the fabric all the way around it, so that the framer can stretch it around the canvas.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to go here. Again, we are going through a lot of layers. So when you stop and think, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers of fabric and 2 layers of vinyl. Not bad. And this little old guy just went right through them. But this is someplace you need to use your clips. Pins just do not work well.
So we're not serging it?
Ooh, hello. That's why we need to be careful.
And what size needle would you suggest?
A 90-14. Oh, this is why. It
we
wasn't
got
the
loose?
fabric. The ankle was loose. See, ladies, this happens to the best of us. Just check your ankles.
Lots of vibrations going on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's because this is...
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I can get that off. Let me get a needle. Hopefully we've got one over here.
Sorry, Melody, I didn't see a question. Unless it was a long time ago. Oh, the chenille. Sorry, somehow I missed that one. We brought the chenille rolls in for a specific project and then have not brought them back. So, I don't really see it being something that we are going to typically have on hand.
The reason I'm doing this is because the point of the needle
taken apart down there.
Well, the needle fell down in here.
Uh-oh.
So therefore, I did not want to.
Pattern's in the way.
We're good now.
All right.
Sorry, ladies. So you can see what happens if the ankle on your machine gets loose. It can cause the needle to break.
Do you just have a new needle sitting by the machine just in case?
Yes. I just happened
It's
to know.
always good to be prepared.
Well, I knew there was some in that drawer over there. So that worked pretty well. Shall we try this again?
Let's do it.
All right.
And this stitch, you could do this on the serger? Is this the stitch that you were talking about? Okay.
Well, I might go ahead and do what I'm doing right now. Unless you were using the Bernina that you can adjust the needle on, the needle tension. But this is a lot to just start.
And would you use a 3 or a 4 thread overlock?
I'd probably just use a 3. But you could certainly use a 4, depending on how much you've left on your sides.
What do you mean by that?
How big of a seam?
Oh.
Sorry. All right, let's see how this does now. What do you think? Yeah, so it wasn't the amount that I was going through. It was the fact that the foot was and the ankle were moving.
Yeah, Lois, we don't really have one of those sitting by the machine.
What's that?
A magnet wand.
A magnet, yeah. But I would have had to have gotten that out of there one way or the other, because if you leave that needle point down in there, it can mess up your bobbin area.
I think she was just saying that the magnet wand would have been.
Oh, it would have been nice
in getting that little tip
Absolutely.
Out. Yep. So Val is getting to the ends of making her mesh bag.
Now, you can always make, too, and we haven't talked about this, but you can use and my brain just went dead. What is the Kimberbell, the stiffer stuff? What's the name of it?
Shapeform?
Yeah, Shapeform, Shapeflex, whatever. You can use that to make a bottom, or you can use cardboard. It's just that cardboard you can't really wash very well if you spill something on it.
Yeah, cardboard base you're not really going to want to throw in the wash.
We'll go ahead and create the bag, the bottom, and box the corners, and then put the straps on.
It is a very cool project.
So whatever seam width you use on the side, you want to use the same on your bottom, because we cut that 2 1/4 inch square out. Okay. So now we're going to fold these guys up like this. I would fold one seam one direction and one seam the other direction. Use your clips again. Try and nest those guys together. But I should say, if we were going to serge this, you want to do it before you box.
Okay.
All right.
So like right now?
Yeah. What do we have threaded up? Nothing. That's okay. Just do this. So because I'm not going to serge it. We don't have a serger done, threaded up. I am going to go ahead and just reinforce this side seam, just so if it's got any pressure on it, it's not going to come out. You could also zigzag it if you don't have a serger. But because we're kind of running low on time right now, we'll just try and get this done for you. And I have 3 or 4 of these bags. I have never once had the vinyl tear out.
That's good.
Yeah. So I think it's pretty sturdy, and that's why I've only done embroidery on a couple things that have vinyl in them, but I've never had any problem with it. Okay. I feel better doing that since I didn't serge it. All right, now let's go back here. Box these corners. Now I'm moving these 2 side clips out like this so that I can start my seam. It'll be a little easier.
Okay.
Try and do this so you can still.
Yep. We love the fabric too. We have plenty. Well, I can't say like plenty, but we've got a good amount left still if anybody's wanting some.
Sorry, I'm
And
trying
I love
to keep
this
it
fabric with the pink mesh. It
hot
just
pink.
so goes together.
When I started looking, we had more pink mesh than anything else. And then I found the thimbles, and I thought, aha, perfecto. So one of the reasons that you measure up the 3 inches, but you've only cut your bottom square out 2 1/4, that way the pocket doesn't ride right into the boxed bottom.
That's some smart thinking.
Smells like vinyl too. So
you can even do this with like black mesh and like camo fabric.
Oh,
it would be a really cool like dude bag.
Awesome, yes. All right, there was one measurement that I did not make yet, and that is 4.5 inches in for the straps.
Okay.
So I'll be right back.
All right.
You can come with me if you want to, but it's not necessary.
And you're going to do that on the front and the back, right?
Yes. So each side, front and back. From the side seam.
Okay.
So this is what it looks like up there.
And it almost matches up with your pockets.
Well, how about that? Okay, so the one thing that I had forgotten to do ahead of time
was stitch your straps.
Yep. Now, this is with the fabric, right? Maybe that's too long for some people. Maybe it's too short for other people. This is
about hip level.
Yeah, which isn't going to be bad.
Yep.
So let me stitch this real quick. And I'll just use the edge of the foot again.
Yeah, tools. If you had fabric that had tools on it, or cars, or
kids' bags, summer pool bags. And again, if you don't want to stabilize the straps, it's not necessary. And normally I would have started on the side with the fold, but I forgot that. So now we're going to do the fold.
See, I always start the side with that's open first.
Well, by doing the side that's folded, then you don't get a bubble in between. But either way works. Okay, do they want me to do both straps or shall we just do one strap?
Let's just do them.
Do them?
Get the whole enchilada done.
Okay.
And then I can do mine.
Well, it's a fairly simple project. I had to go look for my directions for it, though. And I probably should be sewing straight, but I'm not. We could have used the serpentine on this. Didn't think about that. Serpentine with the pockets, wouldn't that have been pretty? Okay.
Yeah, Val, we like to mix it up on you.
What's that?
Well, we were
yeah.
talking about that we were opposites. So.
Yep. All right, so what I'm going to do is this edge, I'm going to fold like this and clip it to the bottom. I do not want my raw edge to go all the way to the top.
Okay.
Because I don't want any strings showing. Clip that. Now make sure
No, get twisted.
that it's not twisted when you bring it back down. And your pocket, your straps go to the, I put this on wrong, they go to the outside of your marking. And I did not put that in the instructions.
Sorry, say what?
Okay. My 4.5 inches is here.
Oh, okay.
So I put this strap on the wrong side. Should come out like this.
Gotcha.
Well, let's just say this. Whichever way you do it, do them both the same.
That makes sense.
Otherwise, you could be having a bit of a lopsided bag.
Oh my goodness. I was explaining to Siri yesterday about the hat that I found at the baseball game. And
which was so cute.
So I went to the Rockies game yesterday, which was against the team that my fiance follows, being that we're from California. And so my daughter is like, oh, so are you now a Rockies fan? And I was like, well, no, but it had a hummingbird on it. And if you don't know me, I love hummingbirds. It's kind of like a family thing. And so of course I bought it. And so, but I was explaining to her why I bought it, and she texted, oh, TMS. And I'm like, I look over at Marshall and I'm like, TMS? Like, what? I was like, great. I'm at the stage now where I have to ask my child what they're saying. And Marshall, of all people, knew what she meant. And it means that makes sense. But of course, TM, for me, like TMI,
that's what I was
thinking. Makes me think too much information. And I was like, well, what is, like, that wouldn't be too much information. Thinking like she did a typo or something. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. So, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'm definitely at the stage of feeling old because I can't understand my child's lingo. And I guess that's what happens when you have a 15-year-old, huh?
Uh-huh. Happens to me with the 11-year-old. What do you mean? She doesn't need to be 15. I still can't understand her. Okay, so I am double stitching this as I go around.
Are you doing like a box seam and then?
Kind of. Yeah, so I've done double here, double there, and I'm going to come up here. I'm not going to make the X in it. I don't think that's necessary at this point, but I am doing this.
For the abbreviation, yeah, TMS, too much stuff, would apply. And maybe she could have been telling me that I already have too much stuff and I didn't need to buy the hat, but that had already happened at that point. So there's no purpose in telling me that I had too much stuff. But this is also the child that has probably 75,000 freaking stuffed animals.
Oh my gosh. I went into King Soopers on Friday. Well, you can't have an Easter for 2 1-year-olds without a stuffed animal, right?
Oh, well, of course.
So, we got stuffed animals. I got stuffed animals.
Cute.
And because they got stuffed animals, well,
Miss Cora had to have a
stuffed animal also.
So Siri went on, so she was here for the first week of her spring break. Then went back to California, and they
yeah,
left immediately then to go to DC. Well, on this school DC trip, her boyfriend was also there.
Okay.
Which she was super bummed about because her dad told the teacher that they were boyfriend girlfriend, so they weren't even in the same group. They couldn't sit together on the plane. They couldn't do anything. And I was like, yeah, I'm not sorry there.
Sorry, but not sorry.
But I guess they both had a little bit of spending money, and they both basically bought like a his and hers like stuffed animal.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, you two are ridiculous. Yeah.
Time's coming, Mom.
Yeah.
Aren't you excited?
No. Not at all.
So at Siri's age, how many boyfriends had you had?
None.
None? Yeah.
Not saying I didn't like have crushes and stuff like that, but no. I think I was Siri's age. Well, Siri's school age, because she's a year older than most of her friends. But in the 8th grade, I guess I kind of had a boyfriend, but whatever. We were like, your boyfriend and girlfriend at that point was like holding hands, right?
Yeah.
Like, but he walked me to class and he kissed me.
Oh no!
And I was not prepared for it whatsoever. And yeah, that was the end of that.
Oh my gosh,
that was it. I was just not ready. Nope.
That is too funny. Oh my goodness.
So Susie, no, we did not do kits for today just because you could pick any color of the mesh. You could pick any fabric. You only need 1.25 yards of fabric. But if you would like stuff to make this, then we can cut you the 1.25 yards and get you the mesh. Just make a comment and let me know.
Are they sure they want to watch me do
Well,
this?
actually, I was going to say while you stitch that, I was going to show them the other colors that we had left of the mesh.
Good idea.
Okay, so she's just going to sew on the other 2 handles, and then her bag will be done. I'm going to cover you here so I can walk over to our bucket here. All right, so again, I don't have all of the colors. We kind of got picked through with the class today and some recent sales. So I am missing a couple colors, but we still have a good selection. Plus, you know us, we order stuff all the time. So I do know that like yellow is an option, purple is an option. I'm pretty sure there's a green, like a forest green even too, I think.
There's a lime and a forest.
Yeah, a lime and forest. We have navy and this royal blue, also black. Orange, yep, that's here. Red, white, purple, green. But all the colors are also listed on our website. If you want to go that route, you can just purchase straight from there. Okay. I hadn't seen this like camel tan color. That's a new one for me. That would be cute.
We've got a camel fabric over there they could put with it.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Some green camo fabric. That would be cool. Again, you got to think Father's Day is only a month and a half away at this
But for
point.
a young boy, this would be a really good one.
Yeah. So, all right, you guys, with that was just finishing up her handle. So she shall be done here shortly. And we are going to say goodbye. And I think we are going to see you tomorrow because we had some switch ups for lives this week. And yep, Kate will be back with you guys tomorrow for Facebook Live. All right. Well, thanks you guys so much, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.